I've lived in the UK for more than 20 years. The rate at which people are leaving the UK or considering leaving the UK is alarming. In the last 2 weeks, a lot of people have reached out to me asking me for my advice because they are considering moving out of the UK. In this video, I'm going to update you on the current situation in the UK with regards to carers who have been given 60 days to find a job. If they cannot find a job, they will have to move out of the UK. Some of these people have sold their lifelong belongings before moving to the UK. They've uprooted their children from their secured places where they have been attached to for many years, coming to the UK with the hope of a better life, only to find out that they have been tricked by unscrupulous people who have been given a certificate of sponsorship. And these people promise these people that when you come to the UK, you'll get a job, you'll be paying SY amount, only for them to come to the UK. They realize that a lot of these people, they do not have jobs for them. So a lot of people are in this boat. The UK is becoming recent changes in immigration policy. It's making it almost impossible for the new arrivals to settle in the UK. From since I've been in the UK, I've never seen this bad with regards to people who want to contribute to the UK who are not considering, or some of them have left the UK. So this is what this video is all about. It's about the alarming rate at which people are receiving carers, especially carers. Carers are now receiving letters asking them if they cannot find a job in the UK after 60 days, they will have to move back to their home country. This is quite alarming, and not just carers. Recent changes in the UK, which means that if you come to the UK on a carers visa, you will not be able to bring your spouse or your children to come and join you in the UK. That is also affecting it. We also, yeah, okay, we got someone has just joined us. We also have the situation with the student visa, where due to recent changes in the student visas, where the government announced that students, those who come to the UK to do masters, will not be able to bring their family to join them in the UK. Coupled with the fact that the government recently increased the cost of applying for indefinite leave to remain, and they have also increased the cost of NHS subcharge. So all these factors are now making it very, very hard for people to want to come to the UK, and even the ones that are already in the UK, they are considering moving back from their to their home country. So if you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Francis. I do videos on migration through the different routes. Today's video, I'm talking about the alarming rate at which people are leaving the UK. Some of these people have sold their lifelong belongings come to the UK with the hope that they will be able to start a better life in the UK, and they and their children will settle in the UK and will have a future in the UK, and only for them to come to the UK or to find out that the carers, the agents that brought them to the UK, most of them do not have a job. I know people that have come through the carers visas. They wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. They go out and they do most of these people, they do what they call domiciliary care. For those not in the UK, domiciliary care is a kind of care where you go to someone's home to help them with their personal care. And the challenges that these people are facing is that some of these people, they leave their home around 5 o'clock in the morning, because most of them don't drive. They have to rely on a driver, which most of these companies will provide a driver, and they do not pay. They only get paid when they are inside the home of uh, clients they are supporting. If you, which means that if it's going to take you 2 hours to get to where your client is, and you go to the client's home, you only provide a service for 30 minutes, you will only be paid the 30 minutes that you supported the client in their house. The 2 hours that it took you to drive to that place, you're not going to be paid for that. The 2 hours or 30 minutes or 40 minutes that is going to take you to drive to another client place, you're not going to be paid for that. So you find out that you have driven more than 5 hours. You've been on the road for 5 hours. You're only going to get paid for the time that you spent in the home of the client that you're supporting. I think this is very, very, very tough. A lot of these people they are struggling. They are working more than 14 hours a day. They are on the road for 14 hours a day, but they only get paid for the times that they spend in the home of the client. And some of them, like I said before, they leave their home around 5 o'clock in the morning, they return around 10 o'clock, and they only get paid for no more than 7 hours. I know the experience of a lady who came to from Nigeria. She came to the UK. She's staying in Manchester. The agency that she's working with, the agency hasn't been able to give her one shift since 5 months that she's been in the UK. The agency doesn't have job for her. So this lady, she's having to go and work for less than 50 pence an hour for in a to go and work with someone else. She's now working just to make sure that she keeps body and soul together. She does someone. She works in a hairdressing salon, and she only get paid less than 50 cents. I'm saying less than 50 pence. That is what she is getting paid for what she is doing. So it's very, very sad and very, very disheartening. When you look at the indefinite leave to remain, the cost of indefinite leave to remain has gone up. Government's made it difficult for a student cannot bring their spouse, their children, and from April this year, if you are a carer, you will not be able to bring your family to the UK. So I think it's very, very important if you're considering coming to the UK. I want to give this video is for you so that you can have this information so you don't say nobody didn't tell me what is happening in the UK. If somebody approaches you and say they want to bring you to the UK as a carer, please do your own independent due diligence. Do not believe what you have been told and sell up all your belongings thinking that once you arrive in the UK, you're going to have a better life, that this person has promised you jobs, you're going to have a job straight away. Make sure you do your own independent due diligence. Speak to other people who have come in through the same route, who are working for this person to get first class experience. If you cannot find anyone, you can go online, go and do your own research. If you type in the name of the agency, go on the Care Quality Commission website. That is the regulatory body for carers in the UK. Go on their website, go and check, do your own due diligence, go on Facebook, go and see if there's anything negative that's been said about this company that you're going to come into. Make sure you do not commit any money until you have done your own due diligence, because a lot of people that came through the same route, they are regretting. I'm telling you, they are regretting, because this agency, most of them, 99.9 of them, they do not have jobs. They just collected certificate of sponsorship through deceptive means from the authorities, pretending to be to have companies, when in the real sense most of them don't have anything. Once they only want to bring people to the UK to make money. That is why they actually have the license, not because they have any services that they are providing. So we're getting a lot of calls. People are calling us every day explaining their stories. Some of these stories is quite disheartening. The Guardian newspaper, which is one of the most reputable newspaper in the UK, did an article recently and we're talking about the experiences. I mean, I can show you, I can just read up on these experiences. It was only published yesterday. Let me just bring it up. So this is a story the Guardian newspaper did. It says, as you can see here, it says, see, here you can see this is from the Guardian newspaper. This is a reputable newspaper. It's a UK firm charged thousands from Africans more than visa. A care company serving NHS has been charging migrant workers from Africa thousands of pounds to work in the UK when the cost of the visa. Some of these care companies, they are just exploiting vulnerable people. The Guardian, the care worker from Zimbabwe were told to pay the sum to Glovadia Healthcare Limited in return for arranging social care job and around Leeds and Bath. So this one is talking about people that came from Zimbabwe and South Africa who paid more than £6,500 to come to the UK because this company promised them that they have jobs for them. When they arrived in the UK, they realized that there are no jobs for them. These companies have sold them false hope. These people, they cannot find a job. They're just living now in hiding because some of them, they don't know what to do. They can't find job and they don't even have families. So they don't want to go back to their own country because they sold everything that they have. So I hope that what I'm sharing with you now, you will find it useful. All I'm not telling you to come or not. All I'm saying to you is if someone approaches you and say they have a license, they have got care agents in the UK, they can bring you to the UK as a carer, do your own due diligence. Do not commit any money to them until you have done your own research and you're satisfied, independent research, and you're satisfied because the UK, as I said before, the cost of the NHS subcharge is gone up. As a carer, if you're coming on the carer's visa from April, you will not be able to bring your family with you. If you have wife and children, if you have spouse, you will not be able to bring your spouse. You will not be able to bring your children. You'll be paying high NHS subcharge, and there is no guarantee that you will get a job because a lot of these agencies that claim to have jobs for carers, they are only interested in exploiting them. So these are the things that I want you to be aware of as a student. If you're considering coming to the UK as a student, because a lot of students have also reached out to me, just be mindful that you will not be able to bring your family to the UK, and those ones that managed to come in before the changes in the law, most of them are in dilemma now because the cost of applying for post-work permit, if you have a family of four, you are looking at more than £8,000 to apply for post-work permit. You have to remember that these people haven't worked full-time, they've been studying. Where are they going to get £8,000 to pay for post-work permit? So even those that are already here, they are struggling to pay for post-work permit. Okay, so these are the things that the things that you need to factor into your plan when if you are ever thinking about coming to the UK. Just be mindful that even if the agency that is bringing you, do your due diligence. That's number one thing. Make sure you've done your due diligence. Number two, make sure that the agencies that you have spoken to as part of your due diligence, make sure you've spoken to people that are working for the agency to make sure that they have jobs. That is very important. Also factor in the NHS subcharge increase, factor that in, factor the fact that you will not be able to bring your family if you're a family for a long time until you have settled in the UK, you've got permanent resident in the UK. That is when you will be able to bring your family. So this is very, very important to take all this factor into consideration. Look at other options. If the UK has all these rules and changes that make it unattractive for you, consider other countries. You can look at Canada, you can look at Australia or other countries. Factor all those countries into your decision. Consider them before you decide. Don't just rush and say, oh, the UK, I'm going to the UK. No, look at all the UK, do the cost benefits analysis. At the end of the day, make sure that if you decide to come, you have all the information. So I hope you have found this information useful. If you haven't subscribed to Launch Club, subscribe to the Launch Club. We aim to give people information for them to achieve their migration dream. And may God bless you. May God let your dream come true. I'm not telling you not to come or come. All I'm saying, do your due diligence, speak to people before you decide. I'll see you soon.